Good morning and welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the 2018 Options Industry Conference. Over the next 3 days, over 450 industry professionals will be here talking about all things options. Helping me kick off the conference is Greene. She's Managing Director of Financial Services Operations over at SIFMA. Thank you very much for helping me kick off OIC. So explain to us, what is SIFMA and what's your role within the organization?
Thanks, Jill. It's a pleasure to be here. SIFMA is the nation's voice for the securities industry, bringing together the collective interest of hundreds of banks, broker-dealers, and asset management firms. As an industry association, we strive for effective and resilient capital markets. At SIFMA, in addition to staffing our listed options trading committee, I also focus on the Consolidated Audit Trail, or CAT, as well as Reg SCI. Working with our members, we look to form a consensus view on an issue and then work with Working with our members, we form views and then look to impact regulation as well as market policies and practices.
All right, well, give us an inside look. What are the key priorities for the listed options committee at SIFMA?
So within SIFMA and our options committee, we like to focus on issues that impact liquidity, given the importance of that to the market. And since we live in an environment today with 15 options exchanges, market fragmentation has become a key focus on ours. But what we like to do is really work with all of our various constituents on issues that are important to the industry as a whole. And this year, some of our key focuses include the give-up rules, working to reduce some of the risks to the clearing firms. We've also been working for several years, but starting to make good progress on strike listings as they approach 1 million. We're really looking to see how we can reduce that number. And lastly, we're also working we're also working on obvious errors. We've had a few recent market events and the volatility that we've seen in the market. While the rules were redone several years ago, there have been changes in the market, and we think there are some tweaks that could be done, which would make the rules I think fairer to all market participants.
Well, as you had mentioned, markets are complex. How do you drive change in, this big monster that does make up options markets?
So it's a great question. What we really do is we work with all of our members and we take direction from them and prioritize issues based on their input. Once we have an issue, we work to get a consensus, and given the makeup of our committee, retail, institutional firms, market makers, it's not always easy, but we really need to have that consensus. And then once we do, we educate regulators like the Securities and Exchange Commission and exchanges like Nasdaq, and we really then work to see if we're able to advocate for change, and sometimes also just for the status quo, when we think that some proposed changes may not benefit the market.
All right, and to wrap up, how does market structure impact the listed options marketplace?
It's a great question. Listed options differs from the cash markets in that there's no trade reporting facility, so brokers have to do all of their activity on an exchange. And so because of that, it's really important for us to work collectively with the exchanges, OCC, and the regulators so that collectively we're able to create an environment that really benefits all of our constituents and creates investor trust and confidence in the markets.
All right. Well, thank you very much for helping me kick off OIC.
Thank you
for joining me throughout the next 3 days. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.